Good evening, SpeedGaming. Welcome to the Link of the Past Randomizer 2021 main tournament. We've got a great matchup for you tonight. We're going to be seeing fcoughlin versus inthenameofDT in their first game in a best-of-3 series in the winners bracket here, which means that the winner of this series will advance directly to brackets. I'm Drossi, and I'm here with my good buddy Zethno tonight. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm just laughing at the players' names right now. We have I Am Groot on one side, and I Won't Overworld Glitch on the other.
I would recommend not overworld glitching. It'll get you disqualified.
Yeah, so there's a good point in this tournament. That just a reminder that overworld glitches are definitely not something that we're going to be seeing throughout it. But yeah, as with all other games during this tournament, all of our games will be standard start with hard pool items. This does mean that we will never have a sword over tempered sword. Maximum mail will be green, no silver bow, and maximum hearts will be 14 hearts consisting of 7 containers and 16 heart pieces.
And of course, no mirror shield, because we know how much the runners love their mirror shield and are going to really miss it.
Yeah, that's the one I forgot about, because nobody ever really wants that, except for that one kind of off chance where you're on Laser Bridge and you're not comfortable with it. For more people who are learning, these two runners that we have here in the winners bracket are definitely not going to be looking for a mirror shield for that Laser Bridge.
And Uncle's even telling us that red mail is for cowards.
I guess I'm a coward, but we got some cash in the first chest.
Well, I mean, there is decidedly no red mail in this seed, so Uncle is justified. I'm sure you're all staring at DT's timer right now. I know I am.
Yeah, what? Wow, that's kind of cool. Different.
Yeah, some people are very particular about their timers.
Well, it is what it is. And yeah, and we're off. So here, what weapon do we get today? Oh, that's disappointing. We got a sword.
Some days you just gotta be vanilla.
Okay, as a runner, the sword is my favorite thing to see. As a viewer, not so. What? That's like the second game I've seen out of the last 3 games where we got 2 swords here. What is this?
We're almost on our way to an Agaseed. I mean, at this rate, you find the lamp and might as well just go upstairs and do Aga while it's still raining, right? I don't know if you can actually do that. Probably not.
I do believe it's actually blocked off now. They put in a little bit of a block because I believe that creates some issues with the game.
Probably does hard lock it eventually or something.
I don't think it's that bad, but it just creates some situations because you're not supposed to be in the Dark World in a rain state, but don't quote me on that. I am not 100% sure. But yeah, the big thing that we're going to be watching for, I think, here in Escape is that bomb drop. That's the one big thing that I think we can talk about every single time is, will we get a bomb drop somewhere in here?
And I haven't noticed what any of these enemies have dropped, if they've even dropped anything yet.
I haven't noticed a kill on either screen that has been a non-key bearing guard that actually dropped something.
By the way, is DT's sprite the Microsoft paperclip?
I think so, which is great. I almost... Oh! That's a small potion, magic. We have a bomb drop. It is the 6th drop in this pool.
Oh, and
there is one.
More relevantly, more immediately, I should say, that mirror... We'll see if both runners remember to mirror when they grab Zelda so they don't have to walk out of the basement. It's not often you get a mirror in the front of Escape before Zelda.
Yeah, that's very true.
Oh, and a shovel in Zelda's cell. Fred remembers, DT remembers. Great. This will really shorten Escape.
Yes, but it unfortunately doesn't really provide any advantage for one runner over another.
Well, if one of them had forgotten, it would have certainly provided a disadvantage for that runner.
Oh boy, would that have been bad. But thankfully that didn't happen.
But yes, as you were saying, sorry to cut in about the mirror, but yes, as you were saying, yeah, something like the 6th drop in this pool should be, and that's what...
I will say that someone in chat is saying that we missed a full magic drop somewhere along the way. If we did miss the first, if it was a full magic and it just did see a blue crystal, which doesn't exist in the bomb drop
so
one.
It could be the other pack then.
It's the other pack. I missed a large.
The full magic.
Yeah, so unfortunately that does mean there is no bomb drop in that pack, so we will need to see what the brats are dropping.
Oh, but the rats, that was a 5 arrow. That might be, if the next drop from a rat is the bombs.
No, the 5 arrow pack, the 5 arrow pack doesn't have. Oh, that one. Yes, there's one that has arrows and bombs.
And there it is for DT.
Yeah. So that's another late one, though. Oh, that's actually the one I thought the guards were on initially. Oh, that's a moon pearl.
And a flute, so that it was very worth going back here and taking the time to farm. Fred now has his bomb as well. Yeah,
so that, again, will not provide an advantage over one runner over the other, but wow, would a flute and moon pearl provide an advantage for a runner there?
Yeah.
And especially considering the runners are likely going to walk over to Kakariko's first anyways and can activate that flute right away.
But for all that, DT stopped counting items and forgot that by process of elimination, that just had to be the map.
Yeah, let's see if fcoughlin will get this one. And as expected, we have In the Name of DT heading over to the Kakariko side. Looks like we will...
That was funny. Fred made to open it, then remembered, oh yeah, it's the map.
Yep, made it just in time. Small, few second difference. Probably won't make a difference in the long run, but it is a good thing to remember.
So our tier 2 tree pull is a vanilla 5 rupees.
You know, I was just thinking, I actually... Oh, In the Name of DT walks down the stairs. fcoughlin not checking Aga right now. Probably going to wait for the boots. But I was going to say, if that chest makes a difference, I'm really looking forward to how close this endgame is going to be. 300 rupees.
Yeah,
I take that.
With the vanilla tree pull and the vanilla lumberjack, I mean, do we blame Fred? He is the usual person to blame when things show up vanilla, right? And for those of you who aren't familiar with fcoughlin, he is the designer of the Super Mario 3 randomizer and the Zelda 1 randomizer. So even though he didn't design this randomizer, well, we just blame him when things show up vanilla anyway. So we're into CAC. We are out of bombs, but we have plenty of money to buy bombs with.
Fred actually going quite a distance away from that flute point, but still getting it. That's an interesting... They both did it exactly the same. Showing a little bit of the range there.
Yeah, I guess the diagonal movement, they wanted to take advantage of it.
It's one of those things. Probably saves 2 or 3 seconds. So, getting those few seconds here, few seconds there, we'll see how close it all is at the end to see if that makes a big difference for them. You can see both runners are heading towards the bottom, trying to find those bombs before they go up to the top, as to not double-check some of those rooms.
Yeah, because we have to bomb Chicken Hut, we have to bomb the back of the well, and we have to bomb the back of Blind's Hut, and, well, Fred just bombs everything and anything.
We just spent 100 rupees to get 1 rupee from the bottle vendor. That's not nice. We got scammed.
That's Zorro level ROI.
No, that's worse. Oh boy. We got a little bit of a scam running at the bottle vendor today. Hey, look, we found a mushroom.
So we already have 2 fetch quests available, and with the flute, that mushroom's really easy to turn in.
And a book. Tablets.
Yeah, we have the Master Sword, so...
And Moon Pearl and Mirror, even to get Bombos.
Yeah, I mean...
Bombos is there.
And with the flute, we can get up Death Mountain, too.
Oh boy, we just need to get into Dark World now. That's the only thing. We just need a hammer or maybe a lamp if our viewers are looking for that Aga seed. Ooh, we got money for Zora, and that's a hook shot. What is this?
Okay, so I'm guessing our Dark World access will be via Aga, but that hook shot now lets us do all of Lower Dark World.
Fred not even going for the rupees because I've already got 500. Why would I keep going? I can do Zora. We're fine. Wow. In the name of DT, just deleting most of this room with a mirror.
Nice little mirror trick there.
That's not how that room is supposed to look at the end.
And Fred is going to take that mirror and flute and book and hook shot and go to Death Mountain.
So we do have to clarify one thing. We do have a question in chat, and for newer viewers, maybe. If you use the mirror in a room like that while you're pushing a block, the block will disappear. It has something to do with when the block doesn't exist while it's moving, and the mirror resets the room, so it vanishes. The only thing is, don't try that in a dungeon, or you will get sent back to the front.
Yes, if you're in a dungeon, the mirror does what it's actually supposed to do. Oh, and DT is giving us a pet check. So get your pet hype in chat.
Ooh, that's a heart container. Nope. Not getting that today. Pet is dead.
This is a nice thing about hard mode. We'll probably find enough heart containers anyway.
Yeah, I mean, unless that's a Sanctuary Heart. But this, actually, I don't know. Do you know if Sanctuary Heart has a different description on Pet?
That I don't know.
Maybe one of our viewers is aware of it. Well, we had a red crystal on Eastern. We had a green on Tower of Hera.
Green pendant, presumably. Was
Pendant.
that the Cane of Samaria in the library?
I was watching Fred. I have no idea what happened on DT side. And yes, ooh, more.
No, that was just a heart container. I saw something red.
Pendant, swamp, pendant, pod, and a red crystal at Thievestown.
Yes, indeed.
And just to confirm some talk in our chat here, yes, it is hard item pool. All of the games in the 2021 ALTTPR tournament will be hard pool standard.
And Fred just pulled a bottle off of Ether Tablet, which is very interesting if Sick Kid has progression.
Yeah, first bottle, that's great. It's cool to see the two runners, though, doing very different routes. We'll see if that actually makes a difference, or if we'll just see them copying each other very soon.
Okay, so now Tower of Hera's interesting because we don't have a light source, we can't do the basement, and the big key's vanilla, but Fred is looking to Herapot here.
This is a setup I don't think I've seen.
Oh, and DT picking up the bow in Mini Moldorm Cave. That's another good find. We're just getting all these items.
So are we going to be in go mode before 20 minutes? Is this going to be the fastest seed that we've seen in a while?
Well, the most immediate question is there an item in Hera Basement?
Yeah,
Oh.
That's...
One,
I didn't
another bottle.
What was in the basement? No, basement was thing. What was in that first room?
Yeah, the cage was the compass.
The compass. Okay, so we've seen 1 out of 2 items.
Right, so Fred has to hope that Moldorm doesn't have the map.
Yeah, that would be pretty bad. You know, there's actually some talk. I would actually be interested. Unfortunately, we won't see what happens when Clippy gets a mail upgrade today, because there are no mail upgrades in the pool. But that's an interesting question.
I honestly don't know. And there's our second item on Moldorm. It is worthless, but that does give us the green pendant, so when Fred follows DT's footsteps over to Sahasrara, he will be able to turn it in.
It also does mean that Fred knows that there's nothing left in the basement, which will be nice. It won't be weighing on him later if he's looking for anything important. Can we... Flippers.
Yeah. The items in this seed just keep coming fast and furious. Chad's talking about the lengths of seeds. At this rate, this seed could be an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, when you see items like this, or we just go mode in 30 minutes and just finish the game? Like, what is this going to be? Or we'll get one of those seeds where you find out that Turtle Rock medallion is somewhere really difficult and takes 45 minutes to find because it's in something ridiculous like a spike cave or a catfish that nobody checks.
Hey, and we now have all 3 of our fetch quest items with the Powder and Paradox Cave there, but we can't actually check Magic Bat without either the Hammer or the Myths.
Well, this game wants us to do a fetch quest. That's all.
But it does mean we can turn in the mushroom without having to worry about scumming it.
Yeah, and Fred falls in Paradox Cave. Gonna go try the bomb jump one more time. We do have DT in East. We'll see if anything comes out of this. I didn't see the first check, but we have a Vicky.
I think the first check was a dungeon item. Eastern, of course, out of logic without a fire source, but, you know, the first dark room is one of the easiest dark rooms in the game. The second one's a bit more challenging, but with a Master Sword and a hook shot, DT should be able to use some amount of echolocation and get through it.
Yeah, that second one can be funky. I know a lot of runners, and this is something I do, is you try to find a setup very early on, and if you mess it up, I've seen a lot of runners leave and come back in to reset the room just to make sure that Igor doesn't start moving around in the dark. Because if it moves from its initial spot, it is very hard to find.
Yay, a shield.
We do have DT going to right side, though. I think we've only found 1 of the 2 dungeon items.
I think we got both, and I may have miscounted, but I think the Vanilla Big Chest and Armos Knights will both have an item.
Then this definitely makes sense, for sure. I mean, it made sense before, but... Let's see what this is. We got Fred double-checking South Shore now. Makes a lot of sense. Using the hook shot to get through the block instead of the mirror. Just a little bit of a different way to ignore the blocks.
Okay, second item's a dud. So far we have not found anything useful in either of the dungeons we've seen runners go into.
We just do have to mention that piece of heart that we saw is out of logic, which doesn't really matter to them, but this item that is on Armos Knights will also be out of logic. The game does not expect our runners to be able to get to Armos Knights with at least the fire rod, but it also does expect that first room that we just did is not accessible, I believe, without the lamp. See, this is what I was talking about actually earlier. See, In the Name of DT has found that Igor, and there we go.
It cost him half his quiver, but he did it.
Yeah, but the next rooms have a lot of arrows. Yeah, Eastern is very kind in arrows because it's in the vanilla game where you're supposed to get the bow, and it likes giving you a lot of arrows because it assumes you're going to miss a lot.
that is true. I mean, it's training you how to use the bow, basically.
Yeah. So, like, this room has arrows, the next room has basically a full quiver, I think, of almost of arrows in these chests. There's 20 arrows in this room.
And Sahasrala just has bombs for us, and we can see how Fred feels about that.
Yeah, I definitely get that. You go through all the effort of finding that green pendant, and you just get bombs. That's not a very... Hey, if you lost your pendant and someone got it back for you, is that the reward you would pay? A few bombs?
Oh, and that's, I guess, French vanilla boots or something? Because usually you get the green pendant from Eastern and then turn it in for the boots, but either way, a welcome sight. We know we can now do the front of desert, can't do the back without a glove and a fire source.
The thing that we do have to discuss is what I mentioned earlier, is that the game does not expect our runners to have those boots yet. So anything we do find from those boots checks is technically going to be something the game does not expect our runners to have until they find either the lamp or the fire rod.
And it looks like DT is going to start doing those fetch quests with the fetch quest items we've gotten.
I do have to say that Clippy running is an interesting sight.
And I guess...
I mean, the generic paperclip with eyes.
Yeah.
That's...
I guess he's going to do the flipper checks, but skip hobo.
Hey, there's a lamp.
And that's fully in logic, so... Especially with no gloves showing up still, I'm really thinking this is an Agaseed.
Oh, yes, Aga is now officially in logic. To all our viewers who are looking for that Agaseed, you might have found it.
And to address chat, no, it's not a Desert Palace full clear because we still have no way to enter the rear of Desert Palace.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we need that glove.
Yeah, either way you slice it, you need a glove to enter the vanilla way, or you need the mitts to get over to Meyer area and mirror in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Although we do.
That lamp does put the boots in logic.
Yes, that's what I was thinking as soon as they found it. That was my thought, that the lamp was in logic. But it would be very scary if these runners somehow found mitts before they found glove, because we are supposed to have progressive items. They will always find the lower tier item first, no matter which one they find.
Now, in very early versions of the randomizer, that wasn't the case, and every so often we have throwback races. And it's very interesting to see.
Yeah, it's definitely something that in various different modes you can kind of figure out and do, and there are ways to race with, or at least run, let's just say, with those settings, if people are interested in running. It's very interesting when the first chest you open is a gold sword, and then you don't have to worry about anything for the rest of the game. It is very annoying in those seeds, though, when you have a superior item and find something worse, because nothing happens. We do have this dark room happening on Fred's side as well. Gets the key. Going to be moving on to the back of Eastern Palace.
So, I didn't actually catch what we saw on the right side of desert. Anything good?
No, nothing important. I was watching, and I've kind of blanked, but it wasn't anything important. Let's put it that way.
Thank you to our Tarl, our tracker, map and big key. So here we have the Cane of Burna as our first actual item, and then we have to see if the big chest has our second item.
Oh, DT didn't want to get that before Armos Nights to show us a Burna Armos fight?
Don't worry, we can still have a Burna blind fight.
Yeah, but that's kind of normal. The Burna Armos fight is very interesting to see for anyone that hasn't seen it before. That is the second item in the big chest of Desert.
I'm not sure where DT is going. We know just... Oh! Trying to replenish the money he wasted on Zora? Because it is 300 rupees down there. Or did he forget he doesn't have a glove? Yeah, he forgot he doesn't have a glove.
Autopilot, right there. That happens to all runners at some point. Looks like we're getting that AGA completion right here on DT's side. Fred doing some outlying checks that haven't been completed yet.
Yeah, neither of the runners wanted to turn in that mushroom, even though it's very easy to turn in. I mean, I guess DT doesn't know that the powder's available, so he doesn't have to worry about fake powdering.
Yeah, knowing that having both the mushroom and the powder, we're getting a water walk, so maybe something quickly to discuss there. That's a great way to get her. Oh, we got half magic on the island. I don't know if I missed that on DT's side.
I don't think he checked it.
That is a great way to get around the map early. You do have to be careful with the flippers, because if you ever walk over the shallow water that you're supposed to be able to walk on, it will reset your water walk. Nothing on Hobo, though.
Well, with DT climbing Aga Tower, this does give us a good opportunity for a prediction here in chat. How many blue balls will we get today?
My normal guess is 4. What do you normally say, Drosy?
Depends on my mood. I either go for 2 or 3. I'm feeling 2 today.
I think the average is supposed to be about 3, right?
Yeah, 3 is exactly the median. So, you never know. And Fred's going to get some very expensive sticks from Zora.
Those are not going to be very helpful.
And then I have to wonder what his plan is. Like, he didn't do Sick Kid, did he?
I don't think I've seen someone do Sick Kid unless I was just looking away at the moment.
Well, DT never got the bottles because he didn't go up Death Mountain. Because the 2 bottles we've seen, one's on Ether Tablet and the other's in Hera. And looks like fcoughlin is also just going to do the climb at this point. We're going to be ending the prediction momentarily here, just because Aga's about to start firing shots.
Yeah. Here it is. Well, this first one's a guaranteed. The next, I think it's 3, right? The next 3 are 50-50, right. And then we get lightning.
So there's a good one. And another good one. Can't have more than 7 blue balls now.
Well, with perfect play.
Yeah, that's true. Every so often a runner will miss.
Yeah, to be clear, we are not expecting these runners to miss, but once in a blue moon, it just kind of does happen.
Ooh, diagonal, swaggy.
Yeah. Hey, there's one. There's 2. So yeah, the first one will... Oh. Go ahead, Dressy.
I was just going to say, this is... Okay, the ones who guessed 3 or higher just barely made it there. That was their last chance because this next energy ball will do it.
And there it is. Well, hey, my 4 was on the upper end, so hey, my vote was on the right side of the prediction. So yeah, the next time we have one, definitely join in. You get free channel points just by watching SpeedGaming, so you can definitely get in on the fun and wager some points and see what happens. Meanwhile, we will see our first set of we get our second map check here by DT.
Yeah,
we
DT
did have
DT never did Hobo, and this is a great way to loop it in.
Oh yeah, with Mir, that takes so long to get to. A lot of the time, so that is a great way to get there. I'm gonna have to remember that one.
Also, thing for both runners to remember, they have now beaten AGA 1 and are in possession of the mirror, so if they save and quit in the Dark World, they will respawn on Pyramid. This can be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on what you're trying to do.
Yeah, you know, it's a really good thing to be able to remember that you have that strategy until you forget and you save and quit and waste a lot of time because you were trying to get back into Light World.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of runners, you know, just kind of sheepishly then mirror from the pyramid and save and quit again.
Yeah, I think if you've run this game more than a few times, you've done that at some point. We do have DT going the long way to left or to west or northwest.
I don't blame him. This is reasonable to me because Catfish is unavailable since he doesn't have a glove, and the only other thing is Pod. And he doesn't.
Yeah, no, this definitely makes sense. You have this check here. You can get the graveyard ledge. Did we see Bonk Rocks? I don't remember. No. We must have seen. No,
I don't think we did.
So no one's checked Bonk Rocks, so that's something else to check on the way over. And then you have access to the front of Skull Woods and the front of Thievestown. And the rest of the village of Outcast. There's a lot to do over here. To answer a question in chat, the reason Aga died was because we needed to get into Dark World. Oh, Guinness Mario.
Well, that doesn't do anything at the moment, but it is certainly going to be a required item for this seed.
And Fred also finishes off Aga. We'll be getting into Dark World. The Guinness Mario is just a nice little thing to find. It helps with getting through Ice Palace, which will be required. If we do need to go into Swamp, then it can be nice if the runners know the Kane version of the Diver Down glitch. And we'll need it for Meyer eventually.
And even, like, the middle chest in Skull Woods, it's a lot nicer if you don't have to drag that statue.
Oh, that is true. That is a very annoying room, made a little less annoying with Guinness Mario. And we might actually just see it on DT's side very soon. So there's nothing on Pyramid Ledge that we're going to get. That is the single arrow. No runners coming back for that.
And here DT goes, right for that middle chest in Skullwoods. Yes, I go and say what you were gasping about.
Fred found a third sword.
That mushroom turn-in was very worth it.
Yeah, you have flute, you have mushroom, go do it! Like, oh, that third sword makes things so much easier, especially where DT is right now. That would have helped a lot. This is not a particularly.
As I said before, the difference is Fred has the powder. He knows he can get rid of the mushroom, and it's not going to cost him anything.
Yeah, that could really help, though. The Tempered Sword is a significant upgrade over the Master Sword. There's a comment that arrow on Bumper Ledge is a collectible limited edition single arrow. But even with that, I do think our runners will not be getting it. We did find our second shield,
which is one of two items here in Skullwoods.
DT using that boomerang to stop the Gibdos. That is pretty much the only thing that can stop them.
That is also both of our items out of Skullwoods, so when we get the Fire Rod, we rush Moth, and that's that.
Yeah, Skullwoods, I find, has a lot of important items over a lot of games, but today, not particularly helpful. On the other hand, this game was so kind early. What is it going to have?
Well, I mean, we got a bug net there in C-shaped house.
But we've already defeated AGA 1, unless we're supposed to use it for AGA 2.
I mean, clearly.
Considering it is a tournament game, I very much doubt we're actually going to see any of our runners pull out the bug net for that fight. But maybe we will. You never know.
Shoutouts to Gamachu, who did grab a bug net while in Go mode the other day in a race in this tournament. So yeah, here's Thieves Town, and it'll be interesting to see if DT does the whole dungeon, which would put Pyramid Fairy in logic. And there's his first bottle, so I fully expect that he'll just mirror induce Sick Kid right after.
Yeah, that definitely makes a lot of sense. The question here is going to be, does DT go to the back?
Right, because without the hammer, he could be orphaning an item in Hammer Chest.
Correct. That big chest is hammer locked, so do we make that play or not? Wouldn't be the first time we see hammer in the back of Thieves Town, though.
Was the first chest a dungeon item? Because we definitely got 2 items in the front. I can't remember if we got 3.
I missed it. So hopefully one of our viewers or tracker did catch what that first one was. First chest was a map from our tracker.
Okay, so we got 2 items at the front. So kind of a 50-50 proposition if that big chest has an item.
Yeah, 2 items in the back. Well, the attic cannot have a key, I believe, though.
Correct.
So
because the game assumes you are stupid in your key use.
Which is probably a good thing for the purpose of coding the randomizers. You cannot lock yourself out of completing a game at any point.
Like, it assumes that you took that pot key, and instead of immediately going upstairs like DT did, you went downstairs and unlocked the big chest room.
Yep, everything is taken into account that no matter how ridiculous your key use is, you will always be able to finish the game. So it's also something our runners probably know and keep in mind while they're running. There is a potential, though, with the randomizer that the small key for this dungeon is in the big chest and is locking itself.
Which would make blind logically hammer-locked, because the game assumes, oh, right, DT again forgot that he doesn't have a glove. But the game assumes, again, you took that pot key, you went downstairs, unlocked that door now to DT's left, thereby locking yourself out of the attic, and the only way you could get there would be to have the hammer, grab the small key, and then you could go up to the attic. But that fire rod is in logic.
Fire rod. Yeah, well, we're probably gonna... oh yeah. I was wondering where DT was going, but we just don't have gloves. Yeah. But I have a feeling we're gonna go back up to Skull Woods.
But it is worth now noting, if we happen to do Pyramid Fairy at some point, that since blind is logically hammer-locked, Pyramid Fairy is logically hammer-locked. And nice cuckoo clip by Fred over there.
Oh, yeah.
We never did the chicken hut.
You know, I was going to say, I didn't even consider the fact that Pyramid Fairy would be hammerlocked. But yeah, it looks like we're getting some late game Kakariko checks from Fred over there.
Hey, that's our first look at Sick Kid.
Sure, but unfortunately it wasn't particularly helpful. I'm sure DT will be checking in a moment as well. It is interesting with Chicken Clip and Fred there, because if you mess up the Chicken Clip, you can softlock yourself, so that's a bit of a risk to do in a competitive race.
And I have seen people softlock themselves in competitive races.
Yeah, so there's definitely a bit of risk for a lot of swag there on Fred's side.
So for routing here, I'm guessing DT with the mirror will do K45, then Stumpy. Then, because he still has no glove, assuming he still hasn't found one, he'll have to go up and over to Hype Cave. And then, like... Oh, there's a sword.
For a sword, yeah.
So then the thing is, you don't really want to orphan Bombos as a check because you did get that early book. But you also have Pyramid Fairy available.
At this point, I feel pendant pod calling. Oh, look, a glove.
Okay, so now we can go down to Bombos first and then circle up through Hype Cave to Pyramid Fairy and Big Bomb. So, now I'm trying to remember, when Fred does the dig game, will he dig up a sword and it would just turn into a green 20 if he grabs it, or will he dig up a green 20?
You know, that's a good question. So, I know that in overworld locations, it will always show the sword, but because it's effectively being dug out, I'm not sure if the game calculates that or not. We do have a comment in chat saying that it will be a green 20 dug up.
Okay, thank you, chat.
So that helps.
And that book has just gotten us a whole lot of nothing for all that.
There's also some guesses that Fred will be bombing the green 20.
Or else the guy who runs the digging game.
Yeah, it could be that too. It's not very nice of the guy who runs that game to throw a green 20 in the dirt. Getting a look at Hype Cave here. Bombos. Money. Mitts!
Oh,
Mitts!
boy.
Okay, that helps.
So, Agaseed 100% confirmed.
Yeah, we found our mitts. That just opened up a lot of things.
Yeah, like Ice Palace, which DT might be swimming towards now, and he hasn't checked the island, so he's going to be happy to see his half magic.
Yeah, especially going into ice, where you end up using the fire rod and magic a lot. That's definitely a helpful thing right there.
Looting away, I'm surprised. I would have thought, oh, no, he still has no hammer.
Can't finish that. Yes, cannot finish Ice Palace. So that's something. We do have access now to Dark Death Mountain, though. So that's something we could see. Also, Mire Shed and the Mire area is now accessible as DT is heading over there. Nice little reminder from our runner.
And we can finish off Desert. We've found all the items. Oh, and Mire is Bombos, so we can full clear Mire.
Well, that's something we'll probably see with both the cane and the lamp available already. Hey, look, Ether. Fred finishes Thieves Down. So there's second crystal.
We are potentially Hammer and Ice Rod from Go Mode on DT's side, and I'm sure Fred will be following in DT's footsteps and getting all those same items very shortly.
Yeah, just that little bit of a difference between our two runners in the Death Mountain checks. Yep, we are getting DT going into Mire. Makes a lot of sense. It's a crystal, it's completable. Clear it.
And while he's here, I fully expect him to do land modes as well and get that crystal.
Yeah, that's definitely another one. Get that extra crystal out of the way. There's no... Does DT know there's no items there?
I think so, but I can't remember.
I think... Isn't Fred the one that went through it?
I don't think anyone checked Agena either. Fred is spelling out hi.
This is a lot of digs, though. And it's money. Oh, yes, because that was a sword.
Right, he doesn't know it's his fourth sword.
No, but as far as he knows, it could have been the bow, it could have been the armor, could have been the sword. Fred dug out hi, and we have comments in chat saying hi, Fred. Yeah, anyone who predicted a bombing of that green 20, you were incorrect. There was no bomb dropped at the dig guy.
He probably
and it is Fred's first glove.
Taken long enough. He's bombing Stumpy despite giving a very useful glove.
And didn't bomb the dig guy. That's weird.
Okay, DT is going to skip cutscene chest for the moment. It probably doesn't have the big key, but you never know. Okay, it definitely doesn't have the big key, but we are looking for a second item.
Always a fun dungeon to be running around in looking for a second item, right?
Now, Fred skipped Bombos, didn't he?
I believe so.
I wonder what his plans will be coming out of Hype Cave.
With that, probably still going over to the Mire area. Could potentially be Dark Death Mountain, but Fred's already been up to Death Mountain, so we'll see where that takes.
And we're now...
Oh! Pyramid Fairy!
Oh, so he is gonna do it, okay. And more bombs for good measure.
Why not? He has the money. Just go bomb people.
So we're at 50-50 now, whether the second Mire item is on Vitreous or in Cutscene Chest.
Ooh.
And that's a tough
DT
call,
making the back play.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point you just kind of have to hope that it's not in Cutscene Chest, and then if it is, you have a really tough call to make.
Yeah, do you strand that one item there, or do you go back for it? It will take quite a while to do that check. Even just to get back to that check.
Fred bonks his way into Pyramid Fairy, and nothing doing.
Nothing. Fred has made a lot of checks tonight that just have been good checks, in logic checks, well routed, just haven't panned.
So I wonder if DT's gonna show us some Burn-a-Dash strats. Not as good as Cape Dash strats, but it's something. Now he's just got Burna as his backup.
Yeah.
If his health had gotten low, he would have used Burna for the invincibility.
Yep, but the spins worked out. Getting the map.
Oof.
It's in Cutscene Chest.
How much work do you want to do for one check that you're basically never coming back to otherwise?
Yeah, that's a last location if you don't do it now. Doing it now.
So I guess it was DT who did Desert and Fred's the one who's never been in.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. We could have just gone by tracker because we knew that Vern was on the torch there.
Yeah, we definitely. This is why we have trackers. This is because commentators lose track of that.
Shoutouts again to the amazing Artaro.
Yeah, definitely got to give that shout out. Definitely helps keep this going and allows us to talk about what's actually happening.
So we are now in this tough situation where the hammer could be anywhere, including in this cutscene chest DT's about to check.
Yeah, we'll see if this is a big waste of time or just a absolutely required check.
Because sure, we also need the ice rod, but the hammer is by far the most important item we need.
You know, to an extent, I would... Yeah. I guess at this point, because of the dungeons we have left, you want hammer for ice, you want... So... It would be a lot more helpful to get it earlier than later.
Now, we have not yet gotten an Agena check from either runner, have we?
No, I don't think so. The only thing I kind of wanted to talk about, though, was that the thing about finding Ice Rod before Hammer, if you do find it, is that it is a little easier to restrict the items, like the locations. There are a lot of locations currently locked by Hammer. So if we do find Hammer first, Ice Rod could now be in a Hammer-locked location.
Oh, Fred having a bit of trouble with the landmos there. Actually giving DT time to catch up. We might even see them in landmo room at the same time.
Chat, being its usual mean self, is wishing Hammer in Swamp.
Where, of course, only the first chest is available, not counting the actual first chest, which always has a small key when you're not doing key sanity.
Yeah. And Hammer in that chest does happen once in a while, in that first item. It is an extremely unfortunate thing for the runners, especially in a Pendant Swamp, because it is not something they will be checking for the foreseeable future.
And that was a beautiful landmo fight on DT's part. Zero cycle and everything.
Yeah, that looked really clean. And that paperlit clip looking very satisfied.
So we're now 4 crystals in. No particular rush to do Skull Woods because we've gotten both items. We can just go back there whenever and finish off Moth.
Yeah, the only thing really to think about is that we're not going to have any better real items to finish that dungeon. We have our max sword, we have our max bow. The extra 4 hearts to these runners isn't going to really make a big difference. So now, if they did just want to get it done with,
the only other thing we haven't discussed in terms of items is we don't know what the Turtle Rock medallion is, so we now have a prediction for that in chat. Our runners have 2 of the 3 medallions. If Turtle Rock is Quake, though, that could make things spicy.
Yeah, so that prediction, do you go Quake or not Quake? I think I'm on the not Quake side, but what do you think, Drossi?
I'm also thinking not Quake. I think we have Turtle Rock access. Well, we can't get into Turtle Rock without the hammer, but I think we are a hammer away from Turtle Rock access and aren't going to have to chase down the wavy coin.
Looks like we'll be finding out very soon, actually.
Got to do Paradox Cave and Super Bunny Cave on the way up, so it'll be another minute or so.
Or we're just going to start with Super Bunny first. Nope.
Usually you mirror and do Paradox, and then go back out the bottom of Paradox, and then go up to Super Bunny.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you can come back down Spiral at that point to finish off that side.
Now DT finally gets his powder. Of course, Magic Bat is an interesting check because we can do it, but at the cost of a mirror portal since we don't have hammer.
Yeah, I do. I agree, and something we'll discuss in a second. I just have to comment on, since both comms agreed on it not Quake, our tracker has voted on it should be Quake. Just to provide a little bit of a bit of disagreement here between our volunteers. But yeah, I feel it's Magic Pass, one of those things that's accessible. I just don't think it's going to get checked. It's at this point, it's kind of on its own over there.
Well, it's like eventually you get to a point of you have to start thinking Smith Chain and stuff in that area, or you have to start thinking Pendant Dungeons.
Yeah, the Smith's Chain is one we'll probably get Magic Bat, I think. We'll see when it happens, but...
Hey, there's our Ice Rod, so we are in Hammer Go mode, potentially. We'll find out very shortly.
And what is it? It is a Quake!
Oh my!
No! Wow. Well, Com's got it wrong. It is Quake. Congrats to Arturo, our tracker, for guessing correctly against Com response.
And by the way, regarding chat, we already had a PED check. PED is a heart container. But yes, that is some really good payoff for people who bet on Quake.
Yeah. Well, that's why sometimes you want to pick the underdog check, because you'll get a whole bunch of channel points to use in your next prediction.
But yes, once we get that hammer, that Quake could literally be anywhere that's not inside Turtle Rock or GT. On the bright
unfortunately,
side,
that's huge.
Yeah, on the bright side, we know we can go mode Turtle Rock. Mimic Cave is dead, for instance. Now here's Fred doing the strats I thought DT might do on Vitreous.
It's definitely a way to get through it with Tempered Sword. It's a pretty fast way to get through it.
Slightly laggerific just because of the cane, but it works and no damage taken.
Here comes that mushroom check on DT's side. I think he was actually at Witch earlier, just forgot to, or I guess maybe decided not to turn it in case of fake powder. Fines at 20 rupees. Collector's Green, 20 rupees.
So, where's DT going now? Is he gonna go to pod? This could be a pod play.
Yeah, I don't really know what to do at this point. It's just hard to choose.
This is a pod play because without hammer, there's nothing else he could be doing in this direction.
Yeah. Just from a runner's perspective, you're kind of stuck now. You're stuck with things you don't want to do.
Oh, and Fred is checking Aegina, which I think DT skipped.
Fred has bombed Aegina and finds nothing.
Just another vanilla piece of heart.
You know, bombing Aegina is probably not a good way to get an item from him, though.
Well, he doesn't want to hear Aegina's story about either the fish dinner or the jazz hands guys. And by the way, if you've never played this through and talked to the NPCs just to see what they say, I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Yeah, chat mentioning that we haven't really discussed Catfish because when the runners first came through the area, they didn't have a glove, but now Catfish is in Logic.
That could be something we see from DT after doing this part of the map. Getting pod done were in the area. Fred showing both the hookshot clip through the block as well as the mirror disappearing trick with the block.
If you're good at quick swap, that is a nice, fast way to do it.
Yeah.
So Fred's got his ice rod and is about to get the bad news about the Turtle Rock medallion.
Yeah. With the whole catfish situation, the issue is that catfish is very much on its own in a lot of ways. I think where DT is now is probably the closest anyone's going to be to actually want to check it.
So Pod is not looking pleasant today because there are at least 4 small keys in front, which means there are at most 2 non-small keys in front, and our 2 non-small key items are the big key in the map. So all the actual items are in back.
Of course, why would Pendant Swamp ever have something in the front? We do have a raid coming in from SpeedGaming Espanol 2. Welcome to a Group I Winners Bracket Game 1 for A Link to the Past Randomizer 2021 Tournament.
And for all that, we've only seen bombs, but Harmless Hellway will have an item. And then Dark Maze will have either 3 real items or 2 items in the compass. Fred, meanwhile, going for the moth kill here. I don't think he checked PED, so he's probably going to check PED while he does it, and that's why he's doing it now.
Yeah, that makes sense. Get the pet check, get over here anyways, may as well do it. And as I mentioned earlier, it's not like any of our runners are going to have any better equipment to finish Moth later. At most, 2 hearts more is not any more helpful to these runners.
So Pod was junk, and more junk.
And no catfish check. DT is really stranding that check over there.
Think he might give us a Smith chain?
Ah, Sick Kid wasn't checked. Didn't he find a bottle in Thievestown?
Yeah, he never did. Right, and I said at the time that I expected him to mirror and check Sick Kid, but he never did.
I guess he never did, yeah. Well, in the end, that didn't hurt him, but I'm surprised that wasn't a check done while in the area. Fred does pick up another crystal, is now at 5 crystals total, leading DT. However, DT just has to get to the back and finish Moth.
DT also remembers that, oh yeah, it would be useful to have a Smith with me when I go over there.
Wait, you need the Smith following you to finish the Smith string?
And yeah, Fred gets the bad news about PED.
Yeah.
Or I suppose good news, because it means he doesn't need to just go beating pendant dungeons.
Let's see what the Smiths made us today. They used their hammers and everything else to make us a rupee. Are they allowed to make rupees?
I mean, are you accusing them of forgery?
Well, I'm not sure I should do that, but I think it's a little questionable that some people with a forge are just allowed to make money themselves.
And heads up play here by DT. I expect fcoughlin to do the same. You know you have to sacrifice your portal, so grab the purple chest first, and then you can just flute to 7 and turn it in.
More rupees! There's a good point in chat. So the Smiths charged us 10 rupees, because a lot of people don't notice, but you actually do lose 10 rupees from the Smiths. It's so small that unless you're really short on rupees, it doesn't really matter. But we got charged 10 rupees to get 300 rupees. But if you think back to the starting of this race, okay, the bottle vendor charged us 100 rupees for 1 rupee, but that's the hammer!
Yeah, which... The only thing about that is that now opens up the whole world for Quake Medallion.
Oh boy. Okay, well, we are 1 item away from go mode, and that is not the situation these runners want to be in.
Oh, and
being a medallion from go
invisible
mode.
chest glitch, I guess.
Yeah, this one's pretty common. It's much nicer to be able to dash.
But he skipped Magic Bat.
That might be a little worry in his head, but we know it's nothing.
Oh, yeah, chat pointing out, since Fred never checked combos, he's gonna do that now, and that's why he wanted to save his portal.
That makes sense. Unfortunately, that's also nothing.
So DT planning to full clear ice, figures I don't need to hit the switch, I'm just gonna hope I get the big key on the way. Now, of course, the joke could be on him and he gets all 3 items really quickly and still doesn't have the big key, and then he has to go to Ice Tea Room for the big key. I've seen that happen to people.
There's the big key.
We're good.
Unfortunately, they're still going to have to keep looking at all of the items anyways, because they're looking for that Quake.
Well, we already got 2 items here in Ice, so that's good. If we can turn up the 3rd one, maybe even in Freezor Chest.
Yeah, but what if it's in Ice Tea Room?
Oh, no, that was 3 items. I didn't realize the Compass Room had 1. So DT was just looking for a small key there so he could get through this door. That's all he was doing with the extra checks. Fortunately for him, Fred's got the same idea of not hitting the switch, so he's also going to need to hunt down a small key. But at least there are 2 small keys, so your odds were better for not having to go to Ice Tea Room.
Yeah, that's definitely true. There's a quick kill on the ice block. It's a nice into the corner fight. DT getting... Yep, very quick kill. Very well done.
So... what do we think now? Turtle Rock? No, can't go in. We don't have Quake, of course. Anywhere but Turtle Rock. Swamp Palace?
Swamp. Swamp is the most dense location left remaining.
Yeah, though DT never did the Pyramid Fairy. And of course there's Catfish sitting all by its lonesome. And I didn't see whether we got Compass in Pod, so there might be an item on Helma King.
Yeah, but knowing all of those locations, there's potentially 1 item in Pod. There's 1 item on Catfish, but there are 6 items in Swamp.
Okay, and thank you, chat, for confirming that we did get the Compass, so there is an item on Helma King. So yeah. We have Catfish, we have Helma King, we have Swamp, and between these 2 runners... oh yeah, we have Spike Cave.
Oh, yeah, I actually mentioned that earlier as a one-off location that is unfortunate when your go mode item is in there. We are seeing Fred do a different defrost plan for Cold Stare, going with the Bombos instead of the Fire Rod.
Because he never got the half magic, so he didn't have enough magic for all the Fire Rod shots. I wonder if...
yeah, but that was still a very clean fight. That was very well done.
Oh, very. Yeah, I'm just a bit surprised he didn't grab half magic.
Yeah, actually, you know, thinking about it, Isn't Catfish vanilla Quake?
Yes, we could have vanilla Quake.
That would be something today.
Oh yeah, chat also reminding us hammer pegs, which we hadn't thought about because it took us so friggin' long to get the hammer.
Oh, that could be something. Yeah, don't our runners know that Catfish has Quake? That's what it's supposed to. Wow, that was a fast Mothula.
Mothula? What Mothula? I blinked.
That was... I didn't even get a chance to discuss Mothula before it died.
You love to see it. But yeah, we got another prediction in chat. As best we can recall, there's 6 items in Swamp and 4 items in the rest of the world where Quake could be. So place your bets whether we're going to find it in Swamp or one of those 4 other checks. Of course, that first check is always a small key.
Yeah, we have both our runners heading here, though. I think this makes a lot of sense. As we were mentioning before, this is by far the most dense location remaining.
And that first easy check in Swamp is just bombs. It'll be a bit before we get a second check because we have to flood another room first. It's also interesting because it felt like DT was ahead for most of this seed, but things have definitely turned around. Part of it may be, well, probably a lot of it is Fred skipping pod.
That definitely helps a lot, too. I think part of it, too, I think Fred did the Death Mountain early, that DT eventually did a lot later, and that created a bit of a time difference as well, but I 100% agree that pod difference is huge.
Well, DT still never went into Hera. Obviously, pod's a lot slower than Hera.
Definitely slower, but I think, yeah, that definitely also adds a little bit of that time.
And Fred doing left side rather than hoping for the God Swamp, because we did get 2 items in the first 2 checks, so some runners will hope that, you know, maybe it's just dungeon items on the left side and I can just go for the back.
Getting that crystal bomb play on Fred's side. Get that bomb to go off just as you go through the door. It doesn't actually go off until you re-enter the room. And as you'll see, the bomb goes off here, and the blue pegs go back up.
And he remembered to quick swap off of that mirror because it looked dicey for a moment. If he accidentally hit the mirror, that would have been trouble.
Yeah, that happens to a lot of runners as well. If you play this game enough, you will accidentally mirror eventually.
So both runners doing the same thing here, so DT's not going to pick up any time on Fred.
Yeah, but the thing is, if it's not in this dungeon, Fred could end up going over to pod, and then that will cancel out any real time difference between these two.
So we got a bloomerang over there, so that is 1 item. There are 3 more now. Get a little bit of high five swimming through that pool in opposite directions.
Yep. These runners are pretty close to each other. No big key yet. Can't open that chest.
Of course, Swamp is one of 2 dungeons where the big key can be in its own chest.
Oop, getting a reset here.
Looks like he didn't quite place that block right. That looks better. No, still not.
Having some issues here.
There we go.
There it is.
3rd time's
Walks
the charm,
through
right?
the rail, jumps into the water.
And we're down to one last item as Pod has given... sorry, not Pod. Swamp has given us all of a bloomerang so far, and that's it for Swamp.
Now what? Catfish! It's vanilla! Yeah, I mean, there's other locations. I'm making a guess here to be clear. Could be Catfish, could be Spike Cave, Hammer Pegs. None of these locations are friendly, though.
Yeah, what did we say was the 4th? Catfish, Spike Cave, Hammer Pegs, and...
It's all I'm really thinking of. Like, I can't come up with anywhere else it could be. Oh, Helmosaur. We have one more item in pod.
Helmet right.
There's one more in pod. Fred not going over to pod yet, and that's good for... I mean, unless it's on Helma. That's good for him. He's got a 25% chance that he doesn't know it, but we know it's a 25% chance.
And
Nope.
DT doing the big red bomb, which unfortunately we know is nothing.
We're down to 3 locations?
Yep. And it's probably going to be a bit before we see any of those 3 because this is the part where the runners retrace each other's footsteps.
So speaking of runners retracing each other's footsteps, oh yeah, you got it in chat before I did. To give the runners a follow. They've been doing really well today, and it really does help them out. So before the end of the night, do open them up and give them a follow. So the thing is, if Fred goes to pod to go looking for that item, it could, unless that item's on Helmosaur, that's going to be a real thing.
By the way, for how these runners got here, we never really discussed that, but last week, In the Name of DT polished off Star X433 pretty nicely 2-0. And fcoughlin had a much tougher battle. He went the full 3 games with Tam. He was actually the 3rd seed to Tam's 2nd seed, and Tam is a really strong runner, so that is very much to Fred's credit that he was able to beat them and make it here.
Yeah, always nice to see an upset in the standings or in the groups.
And there you go, Zethno was in your Spike Cave all along.
Oh, that's where I last location everything when I play, so that's just where I expect it to be now.
So about 1:16:20 for Fred's go mode. And now it's a matter of how quickly can DT get up the mountain. Oh, looks like we're seeing it. The thing is, DT never did Hera, so I'm worried, and honestly, it's pretty likely, just given order of things, that DT will do Hera before Spike Cave, but at least he will get his go mode while he's up here.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Do Hera into, and if Hera's nothing, you leave, you take your portal back into Spike Cave. No? No? DT just going straight for it.
Okay, we've got a race here, and we're definitely going to have to ask DT why he decided to go straight into Spike and skip Hera, and I don't think he even did Ether Tablet, did he? No, he doesn't.
I don't think so. I think this was just like totally skipped everything up there and just went straight for Spike Cave. Wow. That's something.
Oh, and he's decided he is running out. He is not saving and quitting. He is just gonna work his way around here. mirror up and go across to Turtle Rock portal this way. That is good on your feet thinking.
Oh, wow. This could end up being pretty close between our runners.
Absolutely.
DT has a one... Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, probably GT basement routing will make the biggest difference at this point besides just plain out execution.
Yeah, very well could. One routing difference could make a huge impact on this game. I was just going to comment on the fact that DT has a whole 1 heart advantage at this point. And Fred has a... Actually, I didn't know. I didn't look at the time. We'll have to figure out what the time difference is here.
A minute?
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of try to track when Fred gets out of this whole room and when DT finishes it.
Well, if DT goes to Compass Room first, we can do a comparison there because Fred opened the chest at 1:18:21. Otherwise, we'll have to go by Chain Chomp Room.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was just gonna wait till then, just because of potential routing differences.
Yeah, opposite directions. So yeah, we'll go by like heading downstairs from Chain Chomp Room.
Chat is saying 44 seconds. I assume that's from entering GT. That's close. We're under a minute difference here. This could go either way.
Yeah, and huge heads-up play on DT's part to run out of Spike Cave. That half magic saved him. Fred couldn't do that without the half magic.
Yeah, you know, I think I said the wrong dungeon name there. Entering Turtle Rock.
I didn't hear.
Hey, look, the cape.
Okay, so that's about 1:19:41 coming into the first basement for Fred. GT's got to watch his health a bit.
Ah, 2 hearts helps.
Yeah, definitely. So we're at about 38 seconds difference now.
This is tight. That's even less than that going into this room. This is... Wow.
Honestly, not just because of their seeding, but also because of what I know about the two runners. I'm not at all surprised that DT is cutting away at Fred's lead through execution.
Yeah, this is... Oh, the fairies. Nice there for DT. Able to pick them back up. Get a nice health refill. Fred walking right off the ledge. Another thing that, if you play this game long enough, it will eventually happen.
And now we have to hope that the last two small keys weren't in the big chest and the lava chest.
Yeah, that could be bad for Fred.
And DT, because he did the same thing.
And DT, yeah.
I mean, means no time difference other than, well, it probably lets DT gain more time again because of the execution gap, but there's our key.
There's a small key.
So Fred enters that room at 1:22:02. Wonder how they're feeling. Like, are they both feeling behind? Are they feeling like it's a close race?
You know, Fred did Hera, DT did Pod. Neither at this point is probably happy they did those dungeons. That was a very fast phase 1 on Fred's side.
So that's now a 42-second difference from entering that room. As Fred takes down Trinex, which will be our 7th crystal, which means we have a little game we like to play.
Oh, so we do. And I see you've gotten it started.
Yep.
So there are 22 checks in GT that can have the big key. What number do you think it is? Post your number in chat. The bot has started. We will find out who got it first and who guessed it right. Drosy, do you have a number you normally guess as DT fights Trinex?
I like the first chest in rando room, so I usually guess 10, but if you wind up going to compass room first, that turns into 14. So what you gonna do? What about you?
I always say 8, and as you say, that kind of changes its location.
I think of that as map room.
Yeah. Yep, no, that's the one I'm normally thinking of as well for that, but who knows? We will see. We gotta stop the game. It is over. If you want to keep guessing, you can feel free to guess, but it will not count for the purposes of our game.
And we will go by Fred regardless of which one actually finds the key first, because Fred entered GT first, and he is in fact going right because there was a small key in Hope Room.
Yeah, well, that changes what chest my 8 is, and everybody else too.
Yeah, your 8 is now the first chest in Stalfos room.
Yeah.
And I guess mine is the 3rd chest in Stalfos room. And yeah, we're looking at right around 39, 40 seconds entering GT.
Wow, 56 points in the game today. I should have put my guess in chat instead of verbally. Might have gotten some points. Ooh, we're getting running. Oh!
That is
no!
game, I think.
DT mirrored.
Wow.
Oh no!
That's why you take the small key from Hope Room and go right.
Only when it's in there, and when it's not in there, you wasted the time and then you lose because you didn't.
But it's all told, it's not that much time loss to go over there, whereas DT is now going to have a huge time loss.
Yeah, DT is, oh.
Yeah,
oh,
chat's
no.
suggesting Pink Magician. No, Pink Magician is not happening here.
Oh no, DT, that is unfortunate.
Yeah, it's gonna take some Ganon falls for DT to make this up now. And
yeah.
This is in no way wishing Ganon falls on Fred or anything. I mean, I hope Fred has a nice, good Ganon battle. I'm just saying, if you're rooting for DT, that's about the only way he can come back now.
That sounds like you're hedging in case Fred actually falls, so there's no commentator curse there. Oh, that's definitely unfortunate, though, for DT. Oh, you know, with that, we do kind of should mention that the winner of the game was, oh, I'm going to mispronounce this, Threy, who guessed it first. We also had Trinex, Gustanim, and Eagle Eye. 3. If I mispronounced your names, I apologize. But congratulations on getting it right. So here's Ice Armos on the side of DT. Unfortunately, that's not going to have what he's hoping it has.
Yeah. Also, given how much of the game these runners have cleared, the fact that even so they're going to finish in not much over an hour and a half is pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's still very well played on both our runners' fronts. There's been some pretty good execution on both sides. That one big difference is just the routing.
You say pretty good execution as Fred takes a fall in Torch Room and has to do the whole thing over.
Well, of course, because anytime I say something on Restream, the runners decide that they want to prove me wrong.
And another fall, and he's down to 1 heart.
Yeah, this room is normally very easy to walk through, but I've recently seen some deaths in that room, which is a very, very bad place to die. I can vouch for the fact that it's about a 5-minute time loss.
But he does have powder, so he can get some fairies in the next room after this one.
Yeah, so those fairies help. Getting to that point, have that powder, just get to full health, get to the boss fight. This should be a pretty easy fight. 1 dash, 1 spin should get Fred through Moldorm 2. There it is. Moving on to Aga 2. Ooh, bombs.
Nicely bombing the chest and not even bothering opening it.
I don't think Fred's happy with this situation at the moment. He doesn't know he's ahead by a good amount of time, actually.
Even so, though, you know, DT, despite basically full clearing the basement except for Tile Room, has executed this well enough that he's in the gauntlet as Fred's on Aga 2. This is still not a huge lead on Fred's part.
It's not a huge lead, but unfortunately, I think it is a big enough that this is basically Fred's game to win. There's Aga 2. Well fought, well done, Aga 2.
And we can see a number of people in chat spamming Fred's validate emote, which involves a bomb on that chest after Moldorm 2.
The other thing to note, even though we saw 3 blue balls hit Aga at the same time, unfortunately, if you hit Aga too quickly with those balls, one of them sometimes doesn't register. But there it is, Fred on the Ganon fight.
And honestly, while he has a comfortable lead as long as he plays this well, you know, we are in that territory where a Phase 4 Ganon fall could suddenly make this a very close race again.
Oh, of course. I feel a Phase 4 fall a lot of the time is a huge difference.
And now DT is having this... I don't know how both runners were cursed in this torch room.
That's so weird that they both had that.
Yeah. It's not the easiest room in the game by any means, but runners at this level usually don't have that sort of trouble with it.
No, they don't. It does happen once in a while, but it's just weird to see both runners have that problem.
As DT then takes a fall in the second torch room. But we're on to Phase 4 on Fred's side, so 12 spin attacks, and that should do it.
Yep. Here's that Phase 4. You know, you were saying that Phase 4 is that important part to get. It is relatively easy overall to not die, but you can get knocked off pretty easily.
Okay, Fred does have a blue potion, so he's, you know, if he has to use the potion, he can use the potion. But there goes Ganon,
There it
no
is.
potion needed.
Get your GGs in chat for fcoughlin, who does finish and crosses that super dangerous bridge at the end of the game. Finishes with a race time, GG time of 1 hour, 33 minutes, and 3 seconds.
And I think at this point, with DT taking down Agatu and about to go into Ganon, we'll let him do his Ganon fight and then hopefully interview the two of them together.
Yeah. And into the GT fight for DT as well.
Sabotaging's homecoming? I don't think I've seen that one before. Personally, I like Sasparilla's homecoming.
Yeah, that's a good one. We're phase 3. And going to be on phase 4 very soon. Phase 3 probably being the easiest phase of the fight overall.
As soon as Ganon stops warping.
Yeah, the most trolly phase, but the easiest to actually execute.
I didn't remember this many on Fred's side.
I didn't either, but it is standardized, and both runners had the same number of warps. I think because we were watching Fred and DT simultaneously, we might have missed that, but wow, that was unpleasant, Ganon. Be more kind to our runners, please.
Okay, there's the torch glitch for DT, though, so this should... And he's got half magic. This should be fine.
That hit didn't count. I thought it was going to hit. Ganon vanished at the last second.
No, but he did a nice job getting off the first hit of that next cycle very quickly.
Yeah, getting the triple on the second group. Ooh. Fire bat. Magic, this fight, using the fire rod, not a huge deal. We're almost there. And there it is. Get your GGs in chat for In the Name of DT. He will cross this bridge and finish with a race time, GG time of 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 5 seconds. It ended up being a 3-minute and 1 second difference, almost completely based on that GT routing.
And we are now joined by both our runners.
Yep. GG's.
GG, Fred.
Oh, great game there, DT. Woo.
Seems like it.
Yeah, really well played by both of you.
From the bit that we were talking about in RTGG, I guess it was a GT routing thing. So, like, leading up to that, it must have been a lot of fun to watch. It sounds like it would have been really, really close, all in all.
Yeah, well, going into that, what really impressed me, DT, was your decision when you went to Death Mountain to just do Spike Cave first, and then you thought to run out of Spike Cave so you wouldn't spend all that time saving and quitting. And that's really what pulled you back into contention. Can you talk a bit about that?
Saving and quitting right there would have put me on the pyramid.
Right, but your decision to do Spike Cave first before even Hera or Ether.
I don't know. It's a 50-50 at that point. You either go up or you go down. I don't know. I really don't know. Like, it was just what I did. It's where my fingers went.
Yeah, we were definitely expecting you to go into Tower of Hera, and when you went south to Spike Cave, we were excited to see how close the race was going to get.
And Fred, I guess the big thing for you was you weren't tempted by pod. How did you resist temptation?
Basically, just early on, decided with the stuff I had, let me not do pod because I had the tools to get over to West Side, and I was like checking out Skull Woods and stuff, and I just mentally was saying to myself over and over, DT went to pod. If DT went to pod and something important was there, either Hammer or Quake, I've lost already because I closed down the race room as soon as the race gets going past like the first 5 minutes. So basically, if he had gotten something useful in pod, it wasn't there, so I pretty much decided to almost last location the entire thing there.
I guess that's a part of why I didn't go for Hera right away, because like I just assumed like as early as that's been open, Hammer was kind of sort of late-ish, so Fred probably already did that.
He correct on both counts. But yeah, it came down to really that, Fred did Hera for an extra pendant dungeon, DT did pod for an extra pendant dungeon, and pod takes a bit longer than Hera.
Oh my god, it was so bad. There was nothing there. I think one of my least favorite types of seeds is when you've got just about everything you need, and then you spend what feels like an eternity looking for that last thing, and it's just it's in a way it's kind of mentally exhausting. Like, where is it? And then you finally find it when you've got like 3 things left, and it's like, well, this can only end well.
Yeah, those types of situations are, pains in the rear end, especially, in a qualifier, you hate to see that one because someone's going to have routed that, but in a one-on-one, there's all that extra stress of, oh wait, did, my opponent go that way? Did my opponent do X, Y, Z? I don't know what they did routing-wise. I went into GT thinking there was a pretty good chance I was, I could have been ahead by a few seconds. There was a good chance I could have been behind by 4 minutes. I had a minimum. I didn't know where I was going to be on that.
Oh yeah, and another interesting routing. You guys were both in Swamp at the same time. You should really watch it back and see just how overlapped you were in so many different places for all your differences in routing. But you both made the decision to go left side Swamp immediately, even though you had gotten items out of the first 2 checks. Can you talk a bit about that routing call?
Well, let's see, for me, it was simply a case of I knew if I found all 6 items, I wanted to get the heck out of Dodge. If I commit straight to the back, then, because I already knew, I checked PED, I knew it was a hard container, so there's no need to actually grab the pendant. I wanted to save quit out with the 6th item and skip the pendant animation if that had come to it. So in my case, if there had been something on the left side, I would have had to sit through the pendant animation. So I decided, let's just go left side. If something is important over there, then great. And if there's not, then, probably is at least part of that time, and pretty much was the best thing to do there.
And DT, was it pretty much the same for you?
I could say that just so that Fred doesn't know my real thoughts for a rematch tomorrow. No, for me, it's just a matter of being thorough. Like, you're looking for one thing at that point. I guess the question is, like, backside versus left first. Like, I think, obviously, in that situation, you make sure you get all 6 items. Honestly, diver down makes it much more tolerable, so I don't really have an issue going left side first in most cases now.
Yeah, that's a good point. If diver down wasn't on the table, then that's a much bigger time commitment, having to go through all the extra rooms as part of that, and then it's a bigger sink. Now at least you can walk through there, do the bomb things, that way you can even hit the switch, and it's not too much longer. That's a really good point.
And hey, it saved you both an Argus fight in the end.
It's true.
I'm so glad I checked the menu after that waterfall chest to make sure that the last 2 things missing were useless. So
let's see what else. I mean, I guess I was surprised and curious, like, at what point do you decide, okay, this is an Aga seed, I'm just going to do Aga?
For me, in this case, it was having the ability to get across the river and not having any of the gloves or the hammer. Like, there were still 2 more things that you need to find, which, yeah, could have easily been right up in Paradox, as loaded as that is, or Hera. Like, the mountain was super dense, but I don't know. Maybe it's my own bias at this point, but you just see that kind of item setup so often lately, and it's like, yeah, just do it, and then you go across, and then I mean, in this case, it worked out. Every single one of those items was Dark World locked. Like, you needed to have 2 of them, so you needed to find 2 of them on the mountain, which just wasn't going to happen this time.
Yeah, similar for me. It was, yeah, as you said, exactly. If there was one item left, maybe I would have played that differently. I mean, the pieces were all there very early to say, hey, this is an Aga seed. It can happen. It goes both ways, but it doesn't always happen. So when the pieces were there, I said, you know what? I can make progress there. The main place I had left for item density was desert, and I couldn't even beat desert because I didn't have the glove. So even more reason for me to not want to run over there, because I couldn't double dip it because I couldn't get into the back and kill the boss.
Yeah, I decided to make absolutely sure that you couldn't lift the rocks without a glove.
We noticed.
I knew I didn't have a glove. I just had to test it.
Yeah, I tested the Thieves Town rock, and then I almost ran back into that room with the blind on the way back up. I almost ran in there. I was like, oh shoot, nope.
Nah, you tested that rock from both directions. Okay. I mean, it might have worked from the bottom. I don't know.
Yeah, I was considering
I've never tried that.
I mean, if I had the fire rod, that gives you strength, right? The burning muscles and all that stuff.
Yeah.
For sure.
No, I was just surprised, and you guys were probably a bit surprised too. That early book really seemed like it should have been pointing to something.
Personally, I don't necessarily fall into the belief that any specific item will always lead to something else. Like, I don't really take those signs so much as you might have a couple years ago when the logic was a little bit different. But it was nice to have early to at least gain the dreaded knowledge of the pedestal within the first 10 minutes and just not have to worry about that ever again.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really look at that. I mean, I put desert on my radar, but again, I didn't have the clearable capacity, and we was just too much stuff left for it to not be the Aga seed. I said, I can hit it later on, especially with the early flute. I can always end with boots pretty darn early too. I was like, I can just get back there pretty much whenever I need to.
Yeah, DT, you crushed chat streams though, because every so often someone would come in and, oh, is it a ped seed? Is it a ped seed? No, we've already had a ped check at 10 minutes.
I've been playing A Link of the Past Rando long enough to know how easy it is to crush chat streams.
Yeah, there was a seed I saw a couple of days ago where that knowledge of ped at like literally the 8-minute mark affected one person considerably because they saw Boing. Again, I'm not going to say which race it was for anyone who's watching things back.
I know what race you're talking about, and yeah, that was kind of heartbreaking when the other racer just didn't check it after multiple opportunities to do so.
Yeah, having that knowledge early is it can be so critical, and early game is the time to make those checks, I think. Like, especially if you get the book like in the Kakariko area, like that's honestly one of the best opportunities you'll get to check it.
Yeah, I was strongly considering running up there right away early and checking it, but just said, okay, I can try to put this off. I can put this off. I can do it a little bit later on. There's still plenty of checks that are reasonable. And then like, okay, I'm getting close to the point where I might have to go into swamp for something. Oh, and then, oh shoot, I actually need Quake now. Now there's an item that actually could be on Ped after I had just said Ped is dead in my head, finding or discovering the only thing I thought I needed was Hammer. So then I'm like, okay, let's go do that trip and go kill Mothula now and do our check at least while we're there. So
I'd just like to point out that what looks like a massive difference in your collection rates is almost entirely due to GT Basement.
Oh, yeah. Wow, I see that.
Yeah.
17 difference.
Yep, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I mean, we were, again, from what it sounds like, we were incredibly close going in there, so well played there, DT. Looking forward, although Fred. I don't know if my heart is ready for tomorrow night based on the stress here, but...
You want to just go right now? We don't have to have a restream, right?
You guys going at the same time tomorrow? Is that it?
That's the plan. And then Thursday at the same time for Game 3, which I'm going to say right now will happen.
I think there's a
But-
good shot of it. I think
Well,
there's a
we'll
good
see.
shot.
I knew that this was going to be not only a tough series, but I mean, evidently, just based on this game, a really good series. So I'm just
yeah.
looking forward to whatever happens. Fred is a buddy of mine, and I'll be happy with whatever happens in this series.
Yeah, same here. When I saw DT draw in the group, I mean, there was the, oh shoot, it's DT, but there was also the, cool, it's DT, someone I know really well. So I'm like, okay, this is going to be a good, fun one to play against. And we got lucky enough that we got up here, so we're matched up against each other. So, I mean, no matter what happens, this is a blast getting to do this. And DT and I think we haven't ended up against each other very often. I think this might actually be our first tournament pairing against each other. And we've had like one ladder match against each other somehow, despite you know how long we've been all been playing, but they've been close both times.
Can't wait for that journey.
Yeah.
That's about all I got. GG's,
Yeah.
Fred.
Yes, great game. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Yeah, GG's to both of you. This really was a great match. It doesn't look at the moment like there's a restream lined up for your match tomorrow, but you never know. Everyone in chat, please do keep checking the calendar, which I believe we can link to here.
And thank you to both of you for doing the restream here, doing the commentary. Thank you to Tracker as well. You've all been phenomenal in terms of this. I'm going to be looking forward to watching back this race tomorrow and listening to the commentary on it. So thank you again so much.
And of course, thanks again to our runners. Yeah, and you're both in a great position because one of you is going to clinch a week off and a trip straight to brackets, and the other of you will still get another chance next week at making brackets. So it's not like you're in a do or die situation this week. But
well,
yeah, I think that'll do it here.
Yeah, I think we got to wish you both luck for your next races.
Well, thanks a lot. Have a great night, everyone.
I think we got to give one more shout out to Arturil, our tracker.
Absolutely.
Because without having without the tracker, this would be so much more difficult on all of us. So yeah, and thanks to Drossi for commentating with me.
And have to give a shout out in chat here to Desirect, one of the original developers of the randomizer. You will find their name in the credits and everything, who has just popped into chat here.
Oh, wow.
And as for this tournament, we're going to take a little bit of a break. We'll be back right here in a little over half an hour, 11:40 p.m. Eastern, featuring a match between Pika Pals and CS Tutor. And I believe that's also a winner's bracket match. So that should also be a great one. Be sure to come back here in about 35 minutes.
Yeah, you are right that it is a winner's bracket. It looks like it is also a game one, so that should definitely be an interesting matchup. Other than that, I'll say, just so you don't miss anything else, please don't forget to follow SpeedGaming, this channel, and SpeedGaming236, and don't forget to give not only our runners, but all of the other volunteers a follow.
And Zethno, I just wanted to say thanks a lot. It is always a pleasure to work with you on comms here.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, thanks for being here with me. And yeah, I hope all our viewers had a good time. I hope you had a good time with us here. I hope you have a good time on the next stream. And I hope to see you around in the future.
And have a good night, and be sure to come back here in half an hour.